HTC TechWave.
Hello and welcome to HTC TechWave, the podcast where we explore cutting-edge technology and its transformative impact on the world around us. I'm your host, Neerja, and today we kick off part 1 of a special 2-part series on AI's impact on customer experience. AI is no longer a futuristic concept. It's here, reshaping the way businesses connect with customers. In this episode, we'll dive into the how and why of AI's influence. From reimagining digital interactions to leveraging intelligent frameworks like agentic AI, our distinguished guests Adnan Saulat and Shammo Ghosh, AI consultants with HTC Global Services and HTCNXT, will break down the 3 critical ways AI is transforming customer experiences. Number 1, enhancing how we interact with technology. 2, making digital experiences more intuitive. And 3, streamlining processes for efficiency and personalization. Join us as we explore these ideas and more, setting the stage for deeper discussions on the risks and responsibilities of AI in part 2. Adnan, Shammo, thank you for joining us and welcome to HTC TechWave.
Thanks, Neerja. Hi, everybody. This is Shammo Ghosh here. Glad to be here. And we have to start the show. I have to tell you that I have a very powerful AI agent working with me. I call him Adnan Intelligence because he takes most of my clumsy attempts at photography and makes them look great. And I get great reviews from whoever I'm showing it to. And on that note, the magic that he works, I have to tell you that we have our own HTCNXT AI platform called MAGE. So we couldn't start the show without putting a little bit of a plugin for our own AI platform. I'd like to take a second to have Adnan introduce himself. Adnan?
Yeah, thanks. Hello, everyone. My name is Adnan, and I work along with Shammo as a part of a consultant for HTCNXT, our AI engine for HTC. And that's where all the magic comes from all of us muggles. You can look at our website, which is htcnext.ai, for a lot of other details of what we are going to talk about today here.
Thanks, Adnan. Let's dive straight in. I'd like to start with a hypothesis, and I'll posit that AI is actually still very new. It's in its infancy. And even as we talk about the topic today in terms of how it'll impact customer service or customer experience, there's really a whole slew of areas that AI could impact, from scientific exploration to robotics to automatically even running businesses. So maybe we should start by asking the question, why did we specifically choose the topic of AI's impact on customer experience for today? Adnan, any thoughts?
Yeah, that's a good question, Shammo. And let's see if we can define this. Cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. Descartes said, to define human intelligence, thinking differentiated us from all other species. But what drives thought, in my mind, is what we can touch, feel, and see. What our senses experience. I'm not versed in Latin, but in English, let me extend Descartes. We experience it, therefore it is. What is intelligence without a sensory experience? Everything we do comes from the experience, and many of our sensory experiences in life today, we are digitally aided. We wake up with an alarm set on our smartwatch, look at our sleep score from a wearable, look at news headlines and messages on our phone, plan our day on a digital calendar.
Yeah, then I have to jump in here for a second. Some of us Neanderthals don't have smart appliances everywhere. So I have to tell you, I'm still using a mechanical coffee grinder.
Yeah, that's true. But you know what I mean. So many of our fundamental touch points are digitally driven. What that means is they are vulnerable to disruption by AI. And when we move into our work life, that means the way our businesses interact with our customers are going to experience the same vulnerability. So that's why I think we need to discuss AI's impact on customer experience. Fundamentally, anything that is put out by businesses in front of their customers today will be put out tomorrow in some form that will be AI influenced.
And that's a great premise to start with, like a good introduction. So every experience is potentially going to be AI influenced. So it's going to impact, things that we touch, feel. Maybe let's extend the conversation now. What do we think changes? And I can get started here. I think there are three areas where customer experience really is going to get impacted, right? The first is the way digital interactions are sort of carried out in the future. So today, everything is very touch driven. We've got smart screens, and most of our interactions happen on the mobile phone or on the computer, which in a way is touch. I mean, we are either typing or clicking. But I think these patterns of interaction itself will fundamentally be reimagined. That's the first impact of AI. So vision AI joined with AR is, I think, going to have a huge impact on the way we interact. The second is, in the nature of our interactions, how directed they are. Today, even with intelligent platforms, they'll pop up with reminders, send you a notification. If you have a flight to catch to the airport, your smart app might tell you, oh, you're getting late, you should be leaving now. But even then, most of those interactions are directed by us, largely, except for a couple of places. If you look at search as the starting point of most of our interactions with the internet, that itself is where you have to go in. You have to know what you're searching for, know how to phrase the keywords so that you get the appropriate results, right? That itself, that nature of being very directed, where the applications don't quite know what you want to do. They can't get an understanding of your intention. You have to direct the interaction. I think that's going to change. The third is the duration of these interactions. I think that's the third area. So today, because a lot of these interactions are not intelligent, I think everything has inefficiency built into it. Going back to the search example, if you're looking for one thing, you actually start by taking a set of keywords, then refining those keywords, looking at the results, maybe looking through 3 pages of results before you can get to the results that you really wanted. That ability for AI to understand the end outcome and make those interactions much more efficient, I think is going to be the third area where AI is fundamentally going to change customer experience. Would you agree, Adnan, or do you have a different framework to sort of think about it?
I do agree. But I think what we will talk about is how AI enables these changed experience patterns. I think there are two things that I'm most excited about. The first thing is more general purpose today. When we started, AI was very narrow, and today AI has capabilities that are more general purpose. Look, we've used machine learning for many years now, but techniques like linear regression or random forests can be applied to many classes of problems today, and they're more broadly applied. So they require data scientists to clean, complete, and train models with lots and lots of data that could be applied to a single statement. While LLMs are trained, it's sort of the behind the curtain kind of a thing where once they're available, they represent a class of AI which can be used by laymen for a lot of tasks. So they can solve multiple problems in those areas. Specialized AI will still beat them, but they are jack of all trades. This is how I think, a chat help service can work or a fraud compliance can be used in different industries. And there can be other use cases. The second thing that I think AI's ability to act as empowered agent, and we have heard of the term agentic framework, which is becoming increasingly powerful. A lot of the product providers today are bringing agentic frameworks into their products as well. And I think that is a very important change of where things are moving. Imagine a scenario where you have to travel to a location, you're making a travel booking, you'll do some research on that location, you look at some flights, you look at some local travel options based on whatever your needs are, comfort or what budget suit you. You look at local stay options and repeat, and then look for local experiences, sightseeing, dining. That's typically how we plan our holidays. But I think today all of this can be done using a AI agent, which can create multiple variants of your itinerary. And then you can look and select the best. And the agent can also customize this particular itinerary for you. So, depending on what you like or what your preferences are, it can keep changing that itinerary for you as well. It can add things, and then it can create a full listing of those elements in your calendar. It can book tickets for you. It will also help you with voice narrations for once you're visiting those places, and then help you on the maps. So this entire thing that you were doing as a separate set of activities, like booking your taxis, asking for additional information, all this now comes as a consolidated docket to you. And you can use that entire consolidated docket. And if things are not progressing as you had planned, let's say there is a disruption, that's a very real scenario today, then it can also negotiate changes when the disruption is happening. So if your flight gets delayed, it will update the taxi booking, it will update the hotel booking, and all this an agentic AI can do. I think we are a few years away from seeing different variations of this, but this is the general purpose agentic capabilities that we are driving towards in the future. What do you think about it?
I think that's a very neat framework, Adnan. So 2 points that you made. One is that AI is becoming more general purpose instead of point driven or use case driven. And the second is the agentic framework, right? That can make AI more actionable or apply AI more to the different areas where we need that application. Great framework to think about how AI is going to really impact customer experiences. But as you were talking about the travel example, actually, I got thinking about how do you apply both the general purpose AI and the agentic framework to, let's say, a business to business sort of a use case. So I understand it. I can, as a consumer, I can easily see it applied to use cases that touch me as a consumer. But from a business example, I was thinking of one like, let's say event planning for a company is an easy transfer from what you were talking about. It's instead of an individual event, it's a company planning an event, and the agentic framework comes in and does a lot of that work for you. A large language model can help understand your requirements and sort of set up the framework for the agents to come in and work for you, right? That's an easy use case, but maybe a more complicated use case, contract negotiation. That'd be a great use case, right? Like a software company is trying to sell into a business, and that's right up our alley. That whole contract negotiation that happens between, let's say, a software being sold with some bespoke pricing, with some bespoke, contractual elements. That whole negotiation could potentially in the future be done by an agent deployed by the enterprise and by an agent deployed by the product company. So even things like how do you get it signed? How do you get it renewed? How do you get things upgraded? How do you renegotiate SLAs? All of that in the future, do you see that maybe the agentic framework combined with this broad-based AI capabilities could make even those types of negotiations very AI-driven?
Yes. And we are piloting a software contract scenario for a very forward-looking client today. So it's there.
That's so exciting, right, to think about.
Thank you, Adnan and Shammo, for such an engaging and insightful conversation. Today, we covered everything from how AI is reimagining customer interactions to the exciting potential of agentic AI, its role in transforming experiences, how AI is reshaping digital interactions, making experiences smarter and more intuitive, and streamlining processes to save time and effort. From vision AI to agentic frameworks, technology is really evolving to meet the needs of both businesses and consumers in exciting ways. In part 2 of this series, we'll dive even deeper into building trust in AI systems, discuss real-world use cases like smarter travel planning and contract negotiations, and tackle the balance between AI automation and human empathy. Plus, we'll take a closer look at how industries like insurance and banking are already leveraging AI to streamline processes and enhance customer experience. Make sure to subscribe to HTC TechWave so you're the first to catch part 2 when it's out. Until then, I'm Neerja signing off. Thank you for listening and stay curious.
HTC TechWave.